So congratulations on the big win, man. Just want to clarify, it's not Tony Martin, it's not Anthony Rocco Martin, it's just Rocco Martin now, right?
Yeah, they start calling me Rocco. I think that that's fitting for me, and I think it's a good name.
Send out the press release. When did you actually make the decision? Because we were there at 229, you were Tony Martin, now it's Rocco Martin. So what was the actual moment?
No, actually at 229, I told them to call me Anthony Rocco Martin, and they accidentally just said Anthony Martin. And then finally I'm like, listen, I want to go with the Rocco. You know, I kind of told the story in the stage where both my sisters are Raquel Martin and Rachel Rose Martin, so my parents wanted all of us to be RRM. And when they went to name me Rocco, they just thought I was getting too many street fights, and you know, so now I only think it's fitting, so they named me Anthony Rocco Martin. So I think Rocco is fitting for me now, and I think it's a little bit more my personality and who I really am.
What do your parents think about this? It's kind of funny. They were worried you'd get in too many fights. Now you fight for a living. And what do they think about the name change?
No, my mom loves fighting. You know, she's been a fighter since she was a kid. You know, I come up from a rough upbringing. My mom comes from a really rough upbringing, and we've been fighting our whole lives. So it's just in our blood. And you know, so my mom loves it. My dad Todd, you know, he's not too big into it, but he knew. He told someone once that this was the one thing he wished I wasn't good at. So. But I'm good at it. I love it, and you know, it's my dream, and I work every day to perfect my craft, and I work really hard, so I'm just going to keep going.
A pretty impressive 2018 for Rocco Martin. I mean, it wasn't too long ago at UFC 229 where you sort of set the tone for a lot of people that said you were boring, weren't fun to watch. Now, just a short time after that, you go to another part of the world and finish a guy like Jake Matthews, a guy that's a big star here. Tell us a little bit about these last couple of fights and what have they done for you in terms of confidence and how you feel about what people think about you now after these couple of performances.
Honestly, I feel great. I think that I'm just coming into my zone. People haven't been paying attention. You know, I think that if you really look I don't think anyone's ever made a jump inside the cage that I made from my first fight to now. You watch my first fight, I was just a one-dimensional fighter. Now, people keep thinking I'm a wrestler, but all I'm out here doing is striking. These guys keep trying to take me down. I keep trying to slug it out. And, you know, I got a little sloppy in there today, so I got to go back, you know, to the tape and rewatch that and kind of make my little adjustments. But, you know, I'm trying to be the best fighter in the world. So that's every day I'm in the gym outworking everyone. That's my game plan is to outwork everyone, be better than everyone. And, you know, I'm ready to fight. You know, I don't walk around that big, and that's why I moved up to 170. I thought that, you know, those weight cuts were killing my performance. The weight cuts were, you know, outside of camp, I couldn't train that much. So now I'm just really coming into the zone. You know, I'm down an American top team now with, you know, some of the best fighters, best coaches in the world. Obviously, I have Brock Larson with me all the time. And, you know, this is just the beginning. I told people, you know, leading into this fight, if I lost this fight, I was retiring. I'm in this fight only to be the world champion. The second I feel like I can't be champion, I'm done. I'm not in here to be just an entertainer. I want to entertain, but I want a world championship. And I truly believe that I have the ability to do that. I have the work ethic to do that. I have the skills to do that. I have the team around me to do that. And honestly, I'm just going to keep striving for my goals.
Did that put pressure on you, sort of feeling like you're going to the other side of the world, and if you'd lost, you know, you would potentially retired?
I put so much pressure on every single fight. Every single fight, there's so much pressure. There's so much financial gain in this sport. This is my last fight on my UFC contract. So this is another, you know, more. I pile it on the same thing I said at 229. I'll bet every single dollar I have on myself. I'll bet everything I own on it because I'm already all in. Everything I do is all in this sport. So I'm willing at every single fight, I put it all on the line because that's truly what I think it's going to take to be a champion. I'll put it all on the line. I'll go out there, I'll slug it out if I feel like I got to slug it out. I'll take a beating if I have to. And honestly, I think I'm better fitted for 5 rounds. I think I keep my conditioning feels like it's phenomenal going into these third rounds. I feel like they're always tiring now. And you can see that's 2, 3 third round finishes in a row. I think I'm built for 5 rounds. I feel like I'm losing the first round of every single fight is because I like to fill it out, take my timing, and I start pressuring them, and then they start throwing a little bit heavier. And, you know, Jake landed a few solid punches today, which, you know, I didn't want that to happen. But it starts to wear them down. I wear on them. I think I'm more suited for 5-round fights.
What are you expecting from these contract negotiations, and sort of what would you like? What would be sort of the ideal situation for you, especially coming off all these great wins recently?
Well, more money for sure.
The UFC already approached you with we imagine a contract extension that you would have passed up to see how you go today?
Nope. Sean wasn't that impressed with my last performance, I guess, and he didn't want to offer me a fight. He thought it was a one-time show, and I told him, everyone better start believing. No one's gotten on the Tony Martin hype train yet. I think that
I'm there.
Brock Larson, baby. And I see the news outlets. I see Sherdog saying, I'm just a heavy wrestler. I don't know who the outlet guy that wrote it, but for some reason they don't know that I can strike. They don't see me in the gym. And honestly, it's my time. I just want, I want a top 15 guy. I'll take the same contract. I'll take less money. You give me an opportunity to showcase my skills. Even if I headline a card, like I said, I want it to be a 5-round fight. I'll travel across the world if I have to, and keep up the momentum. I don't want to sit on the sidelines now either. So the same thing I'm gonna tell Sean. Listen, I told my girlfriend that we're gonna go on vacation after her next fight here at the end of December, but I told her, next week I'm gonna be hounding Sean for a fight. So we'll see what he says, but I honestly think that I'm ready for a 5-round fight. I want a top 15 guy. I know I'm ready, and I just need the opportunity. I haven't been given the opportunity. The UFC hasn't gotten behind me. Look at my handles. Not one thing's verified. The UFC never. They last fight I have a beautiful knockout on Ryan LaFleur. They're not tagging me on social media. They're not posting anything. So not one person has gotten behind me. Not one person's been on the hype train except my team. They see what I do. They know what I'm capable of. And honestly, I'll keep coming out here taking people out, and that's all I can do. All I can do at the end of the day is talk a game and fight my game, and that's what I feel like I've been doing. But it's time for everyone to start taking notice.
You mentioned 165, how you'd like that division to come in. If it was an ideal world, who would Rocco Martin be fighting at 165? If it was the next fight, if you could pick any name? Yeah,
I want to fight for the title at 165. I think that I have a good resume at 155. I have a good resume now at 170. I think it's fitting. It was my 11th fight in the UFC, and I fought the only guys that I've lost to are really top guys. And the reason why I moved up to 70 is that that last fight I took on short notice, and the weight cut killed me. I was in the tub for the last 32 hours, and I'm terrified of that. I'll never do that again. But 165 is where I belong. Getting after these fights, I'm weighing in at 176 was the Ryan LaFleur fight, and this fight I was 178, and so I'm not that big, and I'm wearing these guys down still. Ryan LaFleur weighed in at 191. So honestly, I think 165 is just for either a contender fight or the championship. I don't see anything outside that. But obviously, I need help from the UFC. I need help from the the media, and I need people to get behind me and support me and really just give me a chance, an opportunity. And I think tonight was a great showing for me to show the world my skill set and get a finish on Jake Matthews, a very tough opponent.
Great, congratulations, Rocco. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you guys.